The WNBA cannot come back from this one. Man, I heard they were all striking and all these other stuff. Hey, bro, y'all need to chill out. Like, come on, ladies, chill. All right, let's check out this video. The WNBA cannot come back from this one.
So people thought Angel Reese was insane last year when she said, yeah, CBA's coming up, we deserve more. Because I'm hearing if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. What are you, crazy? Sit out and crush all the momentum from Caitlin Clark? Well, guess what? Just this week, W players voted yes on a strike. Not on strike yet, but it's officially on the table. Oh, and this was 98% yes. You never see that kind of agreement from players, all on the same page. But if this happens, it could be the end of the WNBA as we know it. Because other leagues are popping up saying, hey, you don't like the W? Come play here. We'll pay you more. So Unrivaled, Project B, these leagues have already signed dozens of the top WNBA players to say, forget the old league, we tried and it failed. But how did this happen? Right when things are going good, it could die? Well, I'll tell you why it happened. Money. It's always money. Caitlin Clark comes into the W, single-handedly lifts the league. For example, the average W game, not involving Caitlin, got 394,000 viewers, but the average Caitlin Clark game, 1.4 million. That is over a 200% increase for one player, but it affected the whole league. Like we all know, interest in the W as a whole is up. We experienced it. Look at the average finals ratings, around 600K before Caitlin Clark, but her rookie year, 1.6 million viewers, and she wasn't even involved. And
so basically, one player is bringing the whole WNBA. And they're all upset just because she's the only one that is really carrying the whole sport, the entire sport. That sucks, bro. That have to be so depressing. You have to, like only one person bringing the whole thing. It's crazy, bro.
Right then, a new media rights deal was a perfect timing. They would get to cash in on this Caitlin Clark popularity. So the W signed a $2.2 billion deal to show their game starting in 2026. They also expanded to add 6 teams, each paying up to $250 million to get in. So why not share the wealth? Players all mad wearing pay us what you owe us shirts at All-Star, but the owners say no. We floated this league for decades before Caitlin Clark, and now you want to share the money? How about sharing all the debt all those years before? Oh no, you didn't want to do that, but now you want the money. But this is the time of year that NBA players start to kind of slow down. New Year's, right before the All-Star break. But my favorite way to make every game feel like the NBA Finals is get some picks in on W afloat, costing about $10 million per year. But Clark's rookie year, the W lost more money than ever at $50 million. How is that possible? Because players wanted more, like private flights to games. So despite making more money than ever, they spent more money too. But at the same time, I can't understand where players are coming from. First off, private planes? Yeah, you can't have Caitlin Clark on American Airlines with me. Well, me, yes, but some of you guys I'm not too sure about. It would be like in the NBA, a random fan being like, hey, Luka, can I get the aisle seat? Sorry, I have to pee a lot. It doesn't work. And the salary? Last year, the WNBA Supermax was $250K, average salary $120K, and the minimum just $66,000. But if they go on strike, those numbers go to zero. So they start negotiations last July. The league sent a proposal to the players, and we don't know what it said, but we do know the reaction. One player said, yeah, we got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face. Then MVP runner-up Nafisa Collier threw a grenade into negotiations. She claimed that the W commissioner said something unforgivable.
I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything.
Whoa.
If you want to turn an idea into an app today, this is what you should use. First, head over to Rocket and claim the...
What?
And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
What? I mean, it is one thing to negotiate with someone that you disagree with, But to negotiate with someone you hate is 100 times more difficult.
Worse.
But now, some people say this cannot be fixed because what the players really want here is revenue share, which is exactly what NBA players have. See, those players split all basketball-related income with the owners 50-50, which means if the league does better financially, the players do better financially. And the W players see this awesome trajectory of their league and they want to ride that wave. But it's not all they want. They also want private flights for every team all year, professionalism standards across the league. For example, they don't want to practice at like a community rec center, which I thought was BS. Till I saw this Connecticut Sun thing where they got kicked off their own court for a 2-year-old's birthday party. Seriously, and it was during the playoffs. That actually happened. They also want expanded rosters and benefits, but the owners say no. Yes, we'll give you more money, but not rev share like the NBA. In fact, they offered increases from a max of $250K to $1.3 million, average salary from $120K to $530K, and minimum from $66K to $250,000 throughout the league, which sounds good. But players say no. In fact, we hate that so much, we're going on strike if you don't give us NBA-style rev share. Because we see that this league's gonna keep growing while you're trying to stick us down here at this fixed money. And we don't care that you lost money on the WNBA all those years. That was your decision. You wanted to start a WNBA league, okay? That's on you. And now we're here, so we want to cut. And even Caitlin Clark said, this is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, so we are going to fight for everything we deserve. She also said, at the same time, we do need to play basketball, because Caitlin knows a strike could kill the whole thing. Just look at baseball in 1994. MLB was America's #1 sport. They go on strike in 94, got passed up by the NFL and NBA, and have never come back. And that was the #1 sport. What do you think happens with the WNBA? All this momentum would be crushed and probably never come back. But this guy, David Sampson, perfectly outlines what happens next. See, he ran MLB teams for 20 years, so he knows all about negotiations. He was asked, what happens if the players don't budge and they don't move on their demands?
Maybe the end of the WNBA. The players will move. The biggest thing they did wrong, they said this is their moment. And so they've put a lot of pressure on themselves. They put themselves in a corner where they feel like they have to get it or it's like a major loss. And so if you had any ability to invest and you wanted to start a league to compete with the WNBA, this is the time. That could be the end of the WNBA.
Oh, and it turns out there are several women's leagues who see this coming. A 3-on-3 league called Unrivaled, a 5-on-5 called Project B, have all signed dozens of the top WNBA players already. And these leagues are promising them big paydays and rev share to the players. But that would obviously be a huge step back because those leagues don't have the momentum or the popularity of the WNBA. And it would split up all the players. Like, can you imagine if the NBA fell apart? Yeah, we'd all still watch the players, but if all the players were split among 2 leagues, it would suck. So as crazy as it sounded, we may actually see these players go on strike, and the W might take a hit it cannot come back from. But there is plenty of drama going on in the NBA right now as well. If you liked sort of the play-by-play story of this video, what is going on with Chris Paul? Because we finally learned...
It will definitely put a crush on them because just like baseball, it was like the #1 top sport in the US. And because of the strike, it's now hardly ever that turnout. I think Canada right now is leading it with their baseball. Quote me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section and make sure you guys like, comment and subscribe. Alright, let me know what are your thoughts in the comment.